Kelly Clarkson has never met a guest she couldn't connect with. She's hugged crying strangers, sung duets with nervous fans, turned awkward celebrity interviews into genuine conversations. Until Meghan Markle walked onto her stage with ice in her eyes and contempt in her voice. From the very first question, "How are you? How's life?" something was wrong. Meghan's answers were clipped. Her body language was closed. When Kelly leaned in with her signature warmth, Meghan leaned back like she'd been touched by something dirty. The audience felt it immediately. The producers felt it too. But Kelly kept trying, because that's what Kelly does. She tries. She connects. She finds the human underneath the headline. For 23 excruciating minutes, she tried everything. Gentle questions, shared experiences, genuine compliments. Nothing worked. And then Kelly asked one simple question about Harry. Just, "How's Harry doing?" And Meghan said something so cutting, so unnecessarily cruel, that Kelly Clarkson did something she's never done in her entire career. She stopped the interview, put her hand up, and said, "I think we're done here." What Meghan said, and what happened in the 60 seconds that followed, would become the most talked about moment in daytime television history. Before we dive into this explosive confrontation, make sure you hit subscribe and smash that like button. Now, let's get into what really happened on that Kelly Clarkson stage. The Kelly Clarkson Show studio was buzzing with its usual energy, the live band warming up, the audience excited, the production team running through final checks. This was daytime television at its best, bright, warm, welcoming. Kelly stood backstage, reviewing her notes one last time. She'd been genuinely excited about this interview. Meghan Markle had been through so much publicly, and Kelly, who'd navigated her own painful divorce in the spotlight, felt a kinship with anyone dealing with personal struggles under public scrutiny. Okay, y'all, I'm so excited about our next guest. She's a duchess, a mother, a philanthropist, and someone who's navigated some really challenging stuff in public. Please welcome Meghan Markle. The band played, the audience cheered, and Meghan emerged from backstage. But there was something in her bearing that immediately felt off. A rigidity, a guardedness. She crossed the stage without the usual guest warmth, settling into her chair with the posture of someone attending a business meeting rather than a talk show. Kelly, as always, bounded over with open arms. "Hi, it's so good to meet you." Meghan accepted a brief, awkward side hug, more tolerating it than participating in it. "Thank you for having me." Kelly settled into her chair, undeterred by the coolness. "So how are you?" "Like really? I always want to know how people actually are, not the press release version." Meghan tilted her head, her expression shifting to something almost condescending. "I'm wonderful. Thriving, actually. That's great. I love that, because I know the past few years have been transformative." "Yes, very transformative." Kelly nodded, sensing she needed to find a different approach. "I get that. I went through my divorce publicly, and transformative is exactly the right word. It's hard, but you come out stronger." Meghan's expression didn't warm. "I wouldn't compare our situations." The comment landed with unexpected sharpness. Kelly blinked, her smile faltering for just a moment before recovering. "Oh, I wasn't comparing exactly. I meant the public scrutiny part. That's hard for anyone. Some situations are more complex than others." The audience shifted uncomfortably. Kelly pressed forward. "So, tell me about what you're working on. I know you've got the foundation, some media projects. What's exciting you right now?" Meghan crossed her legs, her posture somehow becoming even more formal. "We're doing transformative work through Archwell. Mental health advocacy, women's empowerment, systemic change." "That's amazing. Can you give me an example? Like a story of someone you've helped?" "I love hearing those stories." Meghan's expression flickered with something like irritation. "The work speaks for itself. We don't exploit individual stories for entertainment purposes." Kelly's smile held, but there was confusion in her eyes. "I wasn't asking you to exploit anyone. I just thought. You know, sometimes hearing a specific story helps people connect. People can connect with the mission without needing their heartstrings manipulated." The audience had gone completely silent now. Kelly glanced at her producer offstage, a quick, subtle look that said help. "Okay, that's fair. Different approach then. What made you want to focus on mental health specifically?" "Personal experience. Though I prefer not to go into details that have already been extensively covered. Of course, Kelly paused, regrouping. I'm just trying to get to know you. That's kind of the whole show. I understand. But perhaps questions that haven't been asked 1,000 times would be more productive. Kelly took a breath. In her entire career, she'd never encountered this level of resistance to basic conversation. But she was Kelly Clarkson. She didn't give up. You know what? Let's try something different. I'm a big music person, obviously, so I'm always curious. What are you listening to right now? What's on your playlist? Meghan seemed caught off guard by the shift. I don't really have time for casual music listening. Oh, come on. Everyone has something. Car rides, working out, cooking dinner. I have staff for most of those things. Kelly laughed, thinking it was a joke. When Meghan's expression remained serious, the laugh died awkwardly. Oh, okay. Well, what about books? Reading anything good? I've been focused on reading reports and briefings related to our foundation work. Not much time for leisure reading. That's very dedicated. Kelly was grasping now, trying to find any point of connection. What about your kids? What are they into? My kids are obsessed with the weirdest things right now. Meghan's expression hardened. I don't discuss my children publicly. Oh, I wasn't asking for details. Just, mom stuff. Like, mine are into dinosaurs right now, and I prefer to keep that boundary firm. Kelly nodded slowly. Of course. Totally respect that. The silence that followed was painful. Let's talk about something that's been in the news, Kelly said, trying yet another approach. The Met Gala happened recently. I saw so many amazing looks. Were you there? I don't remember seeing you. Meghan's composure cracked slightly, a flash of something vulnerable before she recovered. I wasn't invited this year. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. Guest lists change. It's not significant. Right, of course. I just assumed you'd be on every list. You're a fashion icon to so many people. Apparently not to everyone. Kelly sensed she'd hit a nerve. Well, their loss, right? You always look incredible. Meghan didn't acknowledge the compliment. Can we move on? Sure. Absolutely. Kelly glanced at her notes, then set them aside. You know what? Let me just be honest. I feel like we're not connecting, and I really want to connect. That's kind of my thing. So tell me, what do you want to talk about? What would make this feel good for you? Meghan's eyes narrowed slightly. I came here to discuss my foundation work and my upcoming projects. Not to be psychoanalyzed. I'm not psychoanalyzing. I'm trying to have a conversation. That's what talk shows are. Then perhaps stick to the topics my team provided. Kelly blinked. I don't really work from talking points. I find conversations flow better when they're natural. There's nothing natural about television. I disagree. I think the best moments are when people are just real. Meghan's smile was thin. Some of us have learned that being real on television has consequences. The audience was visibly uncomfortable now. Kelly could feel it, the shift from anticipation to tension. But she kept trying. Okay, let's talk about Netflix. You've got projects in development, had projects. Some have evolved. Evolved meaning? Changed direction. That's the entertainment industry. I heard some got canceled. The animated series, some documentaries, I prefer evolved. But canceled is what actually happened, right? Meghan's expression hardened. Are you here to interview me or interrogate me? Kelly held up her hands. Interview. I promise. I'm just asking about things that are public knowledge. Public knowledge doesn't mean public discussion. It kind of does, though. I mean, that's what interviews are, discussing public things. With appropriate framing. What framing would you like? Accurate framing, not the tabloid version. Kelly's characteristic warmth was being tested now. I'm not a tabloid. I'm a talk show host who genuinely wanted to meet you and have a nice conversation. I'm not sure what I've done to make this feel adversarial. Perhaps your line of questioning. My line of questioning has been, how are you? What are you working on? What's on your playlist? Those are literally the friendliest questions possible. Meghan shifted in her seat. Perhaps they felt more pointed in delivery. They weren't. I promise they weren't. I'm Kelly Clarkson. I'm not a gotcha person. Ask anyone. Kelly took a visible breath, centering herself. Okay, let's reset. Let's start fresh. She turned to the audience. Y'all ever have a conversation that just gets off on the wrong foot? That happens sometimes. No big deal. She turned back to Meghan with renewed energy. Fresh start. Tell me something you're genuinely excited about. Something that makes you happy right now. Meghan paused, seeming to consider the question. I'm excited about the potential for our foundation to create lasting change. That's great. What kind of change specifically? Systemic change. Addressing root causes of inequality. I love that. How are you addressing them? Through strategic partnerships and targeted initiatives, such as Meghan's jaw tightened. These are complex programs that can't be summarized in sound bites. I'm not asking for sound bites. I'm asking for examples. One example, just one. I don't perform my philanthropy for entertainment. Kelly's patience visibly strained. I'm not asking you to perform. I'm asking you to share. Those are different things. Are they? On television? Yes. When I have guests who work with charities, they share stories because it helps people understand and maybe want to help. That's not exploitation. That's communication. Perhaps our approaches differ. Clearly, the tension in the room was palpable. Kelly's producer was making subtle gestures off camera, signals to wrap up, move on, do something. Kelly pressed forward anyway. How's Harry? The shift in Meghan's demeanor was immediate. Walls went up. Expression closed off. I prefer not to discuss my husband. At all. I mean, he's your partner in everything. The foundation, the media work. This interview is about me. But you're a team. Everyone talks about Harry and Meghan. It's hard to discuss one without the other. Then perhaps the narrative needs to change. Kelly tilted her head. What narrative? The narrative that I'm only relevant in relation to him. I don't think that's the narrative. I think people are interested in both of you, together and separately. Meghan's voice sharpened. And yet every interview eventually becomes about him, about the royal family, about everything except my actual work. I asked about your work. You told me it speaks for itself, and you don't want to give examples. Because my work shouldn't need to be justified through anecdotes. It's not about justifying. It's about sharing. That's what communication is. The audience stirred. This was becoming something none of them had expected. Meghan straightened in her chair. There are rumors I need to address, since you're pushing this direction. Kelly looked confused. What direction? The divorce rumors. The separation speculation. They're completely false. We're stronger than ever. Kelly's eyebrows rose. I didn't ask about divorce. I asked how Harry was doing. Just how he's doing. Like, is he good? I know what you were implying. I wasn't implying anything. I was asking a normal question that I ask every guest who's married. How's your spouse? It's basic conversation. There was subtext. There really wasn't. I'm Kelly Clarkson. I don't do subtext. I'm extremely direct. Ask anyone. Meghan's expression remained cold. Perhaps you're not aware of how your questions land. Kelly laughed. A genuine, surprised laugh. I've been doing this for 11 years. I'm very aware of how my questions land. What I'm not aware of is why you've been hostile since you walked out here. I haven't been hostile. You've been dismissive, defensive, and condescending. I've tried everything. Gentle questions, personal connection, fresh starts. Nothing works. At some point, I have to acknowledge that the problem isn't my questions. Meghan stood up slightly, then sat back down. This was a mistake. Kelly's warmth finally cracked. What was a mistake? Coming on a show where someone asked you basic questions? Because that's all I've done. Your tone, my tone has been friendly. Aggressively friendly, actually, because I've been working overtime to make you comfortable. You've treated every attempt at connection like an insult. That's not fair. What's not fair is coming on someone's show and treating them like an enemy. I'm not your enemy, Meghan. I wanted to like you. I wanted this to be a great conversation. I even told my team beforehand how excited I was to meet you. Meghan's expression flickered. I didn't realize. Of course you didn't realize. Because you walked in here so guarded, so defensive, so ready to be offended, that you couldn't see someone genuinely trying to connect with you. The audience was silent. Kelly's eyes had grown bright, the emotion genuine, not performed. I've been through hard stuff publicly too. My divorce was everywhere. People had opinions. It was painful. I thought maybe we'd connect over that shared experience of being torn apart publicly. But you shut that down immediately. Said our situations aren't comparable. They're not. Everyone's pain is comparable when you're being kind about it. That's the whole point. We're all going through something. But you've decided your pain is special, your situation is unique, and no one can possibly understand. That must be really lonely. Meghan grabbed her purse, her movements sharp. I don't need your sympathy. I wasn't offering sympathy. I was offering connection. There's a difference. Sympathy is feeling sorry for someone. Connection is recognizing shared humanity. I was trying for the second one. You rejected it. Because it was condescending, it wasn't condescending. I was treating you like a person, not a duchess. That's what I do with everyone. I treat everyone the same. Celebrities, regular people, royalty. Everyone gets the same, Kelly. That's why people like my show. Perhaps not everyone appreciates your approach. Then those people shouldn't come on my show. Kelly stood up now, her small frame somehow commanding the entire stage. You requested this interview. Your team reached out to us. You wanted to be here. And since you've arrived, you've treated every question as an attack, every attempt at warmth as intrusion, and every conversational topic as beneath you. That's not my failure as a host. That's your failure as a guest. Meghan stared at Kelly, seemingly shocked by the directness. I didn't expect to be lectured, and I didn't expect to be treated like an inconvenience by someone who asked to be here. I guess we're both surprised. Meghan stood up fully, gathering herself with what remained of her composure. I think we should end this. Kelly nodded slowly. I think you're right. Because honestly, I don't know what else to try. I've given you every opening, every opportunity to be warm, to be real, to be human. You've rejected all of them. I've been protecting myself. From what? From me? I'm the safest interview in television. I make everyone look good. That's literally my job. But you've been so defended against some imaginary attack that you couldn't see I wasn't attacking. The media always attacks. I'm not the media. I'm Kelly Clarkson. I sang Since You've Been Gone and then got a talk show. I'm not a journalist. I'm not an investigative reporter. I'm a person who likes talking to people. And you've made that impossible. Meghan's voice dropped to something cold. You'll regret this. Kelly's expression shifted, hurt flickering beneath the surface. Regret what? Trying to be kind to someone who rejected my kindness? I don't regret that. I'll always try to be kind first. What I regret is thinking this could be different. What does that mean? It means I'd heard things about you, about how you treat people. I didn't believe them. I thought, she's probably just misunderstood. I'll get through to her. I was wrong. You're exactly what people said you were. Meghan's face contorted with barely suppressed rage. You don't know anything about me. I know what you've shown me. In the past 20 minutes, you've shown me someone who's closed off, condescending, defensive, and incapable of normal human connection. If that's not the real you, you should stop showing it to people. Because it's all I've gotten. That's because your questions, how are you? What are you listening to? How's your husband? Those are literally the questions you ask someone at a dinner party. If those feel like attacks, the problem isn't the questions. Meghan pointed at Kelly, her hand steady but her voice shaking. You're not as nice as you pretend to be. Kelly's eyes finally filled with tears, not dramatic television tears, but the genuine kind that come from unexpected hurt. I'm not pretending. This is who I am. What you see is what you get. I'm sorry you can't recognize genuine warmth when you encounter it. That must make life really hard. Meghan turned and walked toward the exit, then stopped and looked back. History will vindicate me. Kelly wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. Maybe. Or maybe history will see someone who had everything and couldn't enjoy any of it because she was too busy being defensive against people who weren't actually her enemies. Meghan walked off stage. No wave. No goodbye. Just the sound of heels disappearing into the wings. Kelly stood alone on stage for a moment, visibly collecting herself. The audience was frozen, uncertain whether to applaud, stay silent, or do something else entirely. Kelly turned to face them, her mascara slightly smudged, her usual brightness dimmed. Well, that was not what I expected. She attempted a laugh, but it came out shaky. I've been doing this show for a long time, and I don't usually. She trailed off. She sat back down heavily in her chair. I want to be clear about something. I really did want that to go well. I wasn't trying to trap her or catch her in anything. I just wanted to have a conversation. That's the whole show. We talk. We connect. We find common ground. She looked directly into the camera. But you can't connect with someone who won't let you in. You can't find common ground with someone who thinks they're above the ground you're standing on. I tried everything I know how to try, and none of it worked. She wiped her eyes again. I don't know what she's been through that made her like that. I don't know what's happened in her life that makes normal kindness feel like threat. But whatever it is, I hope she finds peace with it. Because living that defended, that guarded, that ready to be hurt, that's exhausting. And lonely. Kelly took a deep breath. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to need some puppies or something. Something cute. Because I need to remember that most people are actually nice. The audience finally applauded. Supportively, sympathetically. Kelly smiled weakly. Thanks, y'all. I love you too. The interview lasted 23 minutes before Meghan walked off. Its impact would last considerably longer. Kelly Clarkson continued doing what she'd always done, offering warmth, seeking connection, treating everyone with the same genuine kindness regardless of their status. Her ratings actually increased after the Meghan incident, audiences appreciating her authenticity even more after watching it tested so dramatically. Meghan Markle returned to Montecito, to her foundation work, to her ongoing media strategy. But the Kelly Clarkson footage followed her, different from other interview disasters because this time, the host wasn't a tough journalist or a known critic. This was Kelly Clarkson, America's sweetheart, the safest interview in television. And even she couldn't get through. Some walls are built for protection. Others become prisons. And some people build them so high that even genuine kindness can't find a way over. Kelly had reached out with both hands. Meghan had pushed them away. And the cameras had captured every heartbreaking moment. What do you think? Was Kelly right to call out Meghan's behavior? Or should she have handled it differently? Who would you want to see on Kelly's show next? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video to help it reach more people. Subscribe to our channel for more explosive celebrity moments.